Share a funny story with you. My outfit isn't right. I wish it was on the spot. But anyway, Jessica made me think that she wanted to get Diego some chicks. It was around Easter, and so anyway, I wanted to get him some chicks. So I couldn't catch one wild like she wanted me to, because I figured it was their livelihood. So I thought I'll go buy some. So when I saw the place with chicks, what I did is I went there and I told him what I wanted, and of course he didn't speak anything. And anything I said he didn't seem to understand. And I was just determined to get those chicks. So anyway, the first one I started with, I said I wanted a rooster, but he didn't know what I meant by rooster, so I said I want an I am like this. And he still didn't get it. And I went, I want an I am like this, and I went, I'm going to show him. He didn't get it. I'm getting frustrated because I'm showing him, and there's another man looking and laughing, and he's just staring at me incredulously. And then I said, okay, maybe this will work. So I said to him, I want an I am with the crown on the head that they have. And I went, and then I went, and
oh my goodness.
And then what happened is, he still looked at me funny, and I thought, how am I going to explain a rooster? I pointed to the rooster, the chicken, and they seemed not to know what I was talking about, and that's the first thing I did, and they still didn't know what I was talking about. And then, so okay, I thought I'll start on the chicken, and so, like the hen. So I said, I'd like an I am, and the I am I want, and.
Did you flap your arms too like a chicken as
well?
well?
I forgot to say that. Flap. I did that with the rooster too. I forgot about that. Anyway, so I went like this. I want an I am, and like this, but that no crown, and like this. Oh, and I also did. He didn't know, because in Balinese they say a different language altogether. The language is.
Stay there. Just because I'm moving doesn't mean you have to.
The language that they use for rooster is kukuriku. Well, how would he know what I was saying? Probably thought I was insane.
Kukuriku is crazy in Ukrainian, I think.
And a rooster, how I would do a rooster would be, but it didn't matter whether I went or he still didn't know. So I thought, okay, we'll finish with the chicken. And I went like this. I said, please, I want to get a little chicken. And like this, no, like this. And he didn't get it, so I went like this. And so then finally I had to get an interpreter, and I finally got what I wanted. But in the end, I had to take it back because Diego couldn't have cheating on him all. Jessica misunderstood. She looked high and low for a present for him because he loves animals.
Great.
Are you a gossiper? Tell me what's happening. Tell me all the gossip, all the tidbits. Who's screwing who? Who's screwing who? Who got taken for another woman? Who got left, for another woman? Tell me that. And who's the handsomest person in your family? Who? Where are all the ladies after? Do you know? And how many children do you expect to make in your lifetime? Yeah. What do you think about that? Huh? What do you think? Did you ever think of marriage? Or just concubines, just like the kings? Is that what you have, as concubines like the kings? Can you afford all those wives? How many carrots does it take to feed all those wives and to fatten them up? So you are the king bunny. And who looks after all those children? And who takes them to school? Can you tell me that? Come on, wise bunny, tell me what's happening. You know about your life. In your burrow, what's happening? Huh? Are you worried about population control? Do you have to have a sheik? Do you? Do you have to have a sheik? Huh? Tell me, do you have to have a sheik? A safe, in other words. Do you? Or the birth control pill? Do you think you need it? Or are you trying to make a city real quick? Are you trying to make a city real quick? And who's doing the farming practices? Who tells you where to go and eat? Nobody in your family cooks, do they? So where are you going to go? And who do you invite to the banquet? Or do you eat it all yourself when you find a good place? Huh? Tell me about that. Tell me. And what about the children? Are they learning how to hump? Yeah, they probably are. It's not good. Not good. Is that what you teach them in school? Depopulation or more population? What do you teach them? Do you all want to live like kings? Do you all want to live like kings? Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me, and are all that family a lot of work? Do you pack your bag every day? Come on, I'm waiting for an answer. I'm doing all the talking. I don't like doing all the talking. You have to talk. Tell me what you think. You know, if you keep having children, they're going to cost a lot of money. In carrots, you're going to have to go to the garden every day. Pretty soon you'll have to get a briefcase. Maybe a car or a van to take all those children to the field. All those things you haven't thought about it. You know, when you make a family, there's a lot of responsibility. Yep. And so far, I don't think they have a bank for carrots. So if you find a field, you can't tell all your friends. Nope, you can't. Nope. And also, you got to watch out for your enemies. You got to fool your enemies. Do you think you can do that? No? Tell me. Tell me what your life is like. I can tell you, I was a rabbit once. Yep. I was a rabbit, and I had many children in my lifetime. And in this lifetime, I had 5. So I think I'm just like a rabbit. Because now they only have 2. Maybe 1. And they start late. You guys start as soon as you're teenagers. Yep, you do. Yeah. I think you need planning. You need sex education. That's what you need, is sex education. Yep, you need sex education. You know, when there's not that many, then you're more in demand. And you can have more. Yes, you do. What do you think of that? Such a baby. He's just listening with those long ears.
Wait, and go.
Hi. I just wanted to tell you, if our visit would have turned out, that I went the day before on the day we were supposed to visit, to Taliban. The roads were very, very rough. It was actually treacherous cliffs, deep gouged holes. It was a road from hell, I call it. With this road, Diego had a 4x4, not a 4x4, he just had an ordinary car, and it was a standard, and he had to speed up to go on the bumps. And normally when you do bumps going uphill in a narrow road, you would do it, slowly, but he couldn't, because he would lose power and go backwards, and that really, that freaked me out. I didn't like it at all. And but he was a very, very good driver, and he seemed to enjoy, maneuvering on those roads. And then we were going to an eco community, and his friend wasn't there, but we went to an expensive restaurant, and it gave you very little food, but the scenery was to die for. They had all kinds of fruit trees. They had mangosteen, they had papaya, they had sour apple. They had breadfruit, they had jackfruit, on and on it went. They also had limes and pineapple and coconut. And the setting was all around that fancy hotel, and there were little footpaths. Some are very slippery, and that along rice fields, and they were sort of going down the hill with little steps. It was raining the day we were there, but it didn't matter. It cooled us off. And it had, we were able to see waterfalls and streams rushing and ponds. I was just in my glory. I just loved it so much. And then Jessica and Eo jumped into the falls. I didn't. I was already woozy after that trip, and it wasn't even finished yet.
But that water would have refreshed you, maybe rejuvenated you.
Maybe I should have, but I just didn't feel it was for me right then. But I just loved it. It was just fantastic. I really appreciate Diego for taking me there, and that because it's very, very isolated. And a lot of people want to live there, but there's no tourists or anything like that. But the property is very, very reasonable. Well, I don't know. It depends what you think is reasonable in an area.
Yeah, $50 for a house.
Well, yeah, if you want to live out there. But it is very, very isolated. And as we were coming up or even down the road, we saw villagers walking in their ceremonial outfits, doing ceremonies. And oh yeah, when we were going up the hill also, Diego broke the axle of the car. And there was no oil in the brake, so the brakes failed. And he drove it still very, very well. I don't know what he did, but I was terrified because when the mechanic told me, when I broke my axle, it rusted off and broke it, he says, you can't drive it. He says, because if you do, you will end up injuring somebody. So anyway, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And then when we were going down the road, he did it very, very well. It wasn't so scary as it was going up.
We'll
he
stop
went
there.
slower. Why?
Because Diego's here now. He can.
Okay, just wait. It went slower, and then we got stuck in a traffic jam. Got gassed to death, but we made it home.
What about rafting?
Rafting? I loved rafting too. Oh yeah, I have to tell you about rafting.
Tell me about rafting.
Rafting, Jessica left it till last again. I was really, really nervous because at home we have this thing called Devil's Gulch. And anybody that goes there usually gets injured in that, and I'm just not a pro rafter or pro swimmer. Even though now I learned to swim, I don't feel confident enough to go in a raging torrent, and be thrown out of the boat and swim. Or if something happened, I don't know if I could think fast enough, like I did in Costa Rica. And that's exactly what I'd have to do. And but there was monkeys up ahead, and there were supposed to be kingfishers. We had a glimpse of them, but not a lot. And we also saw a lizard, a beautiful lizard, on a rock basking in the sun, having a suntan. The water, I was really nervous at first, and then as we kept going on, I was feeling better about it. The guide was very, very encouraging, and after a while I didn't worry. I just had to remember to do the oaring, the paddling, and also not to hit myself or somebody else with it. It was really a lot of fun. It just made me alive. The water was refreshing. We had to jump in there, but very refreshing, but almost like quicksand when you got in there. And I, of course...
And the rapids were like pulling you downstream.
Yes, and the rapids were pulling me downstream, so I felt like I was in quicksand. But otherwise, Jessica and Eo came to rescue me, and they were laughing. We also went with the boat, with the raft, underneath this waterfall that was just pounding in torrents, thundering down. It thundered so hard down the water, it just came just in torrents that I felt like needles were getting me or whatever, like I was being pelted by hail. In a way, it even hurt a bit. But it was an experience I'm glad I didn't pass up. I'm very thankful to Jessica for taking me, and I laughed a lot. I never thought I'd laugh so much, and that I enjoyed it. I felt a part of it. I didn't feel I was just sitting there either, you know what I mean? And it was my day. It was also, if I took a picture on both sides with a camera, an ordinary camera,
we did.
And even a movie camera, which we did, but it still didn't do justice.
No.
The trees just towered over. You'd need an airplane to take a picture.
That's good. You don't want to talk about what happened when we got back in the car?
I could.
No, it's okay. That's good. We are running out of battery. Good.